roughly from where we're standing, and they have some special wines there. Excitingly, we will be trying Sula Riesling, Sula Grenache Syrah, as well as a Sula Late Harvest, and we'll also be trying a Sula Cabernet. I think that we should probably start this exciting adventure with our Riesling. Have you had these wines before?
No, but I've heard of Sula.
Excellent. Yeah, they've been very popular. A lot of people have suggested them to me in the local market, and in fact, the gentleman at the store told me that these were their 4 best-selling wines. So we'd like to possibly, as we start with every Wine Down Wednesday, talk about what we see. Pretty light color.
Yeah. It's like lighted shade of gold, almost watery.
I think that that's safe to say. It doesn't seem like there's any discoloration between the core and the rim by shore. I wonder what this one smells like. I'm excited for this Riesling, as it should hopefully be like pears and apples. It smells pretty good.
Yeah. It smells like pears.
Like pears, I'm happy with that. This seems like possibly it could be a 2015. Definitely was a good year for them, for this wine. It's roughly, I believe, about 12%, 12.5% alcohol. And, oh yeah, this is 10.5. So I'm actually pretty excited to taste this one. As we get to try all our wines and Wine Down Wednesday, cheers. Wow, this wine does not taste like it smells. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, it's got this good finish, but really good finish to it.
I get definitely some yellow fruits, maybe some lemons, a little bit of green mango,
It's got this tartiness to it, like.
and definitely
Good.
really long finish. By far, this is actually quite delicious. And what would you pair with this dish? Chef Melisandra.
Go for some lamb.
That sounds delicious. I think I could really go with a key lime pie with this. I guess I'm thinking dessert today. Well, as we try our next wine, I'm very excited to say this wine is part of their Mosaic distribution, which is a little bit different of a label than the average Sula, I guess, to grab the attention of...
It looks pretty attractive.
Yeah, for sure. Grab the attention of the average consumer here. All these wines are screw tops or Stelvin enclosures. And as we try this Grenache Syrah, wow, this looks a lot darker than I thought it would be. Just from here, I can definitely see that this is quite young of a wine. This is a vintage, non-vintage wine, 12.5% alcohol. Definitely deep ruby for sure. And on the sides definitely seem a little bit lighter. I'm sure that this wine is going to be quite delicious, as I'm excited to smell this wine. Definitely blackberries. Do you enjoy the way that this wine smells?
Yeah.
More than the first one?
More than the first one.
Ah, that makes me excited. These are all Sula wines. You can buy them locally. In fact, all 4 of these wines combined was about 2,000 rupees.
Oh, that's pretty decent.
I'd say so, roughly. I think about 22 American dollars for 4 bottles of wine. Sounds like a pretty good deal for me. And actually sounds like a great evening. And is there anything else that you smell in this wine?
Cherry.
Like fresh cherries and then a little bit of cranberries. For sure, I get a lot of fruits, not so many herbs or spices.
Berries.
Exactly, this would be a great wine as a starting wine, possibly with some kind of maybe salad with a balsamic vinaigrette, maybe some fresh berries on top. Put some coconut on there, always makes me happy. Well, let's go ahead and cheers our Wine Down Wednesdays to this Grenache Syrah. Now this wine tastes exactly like it smells. an explosion of, it seems almost like a combination of blackberries and raspberries. Berry explosion, is that safe to say?
Yeah,
But
burst of fruits.
is there anything else in this wine other than fruits? I'm suffering to try and come up with an herb or a spice or...
No, there's nothing like that.
No, it's just very straightforward. I think that this is a great starting wine for an evening, great with appetizers. Is there something?
Looks pretty great.
Oh yeah, for sure. The color by itself looks amazing. What would you pair with this one?
Like the starter, basically some salad or French fries.
You know what I'm thinking? French fries go with everything. I'd be very happy with this. Also maybe some light tapas. Like I'd be happy with maybe some short ribs as well would be good. A little chickpea hummus with maybe some roasted red pepper and garlic.
Something like that.
That sounds spectacular. Well, as we move on, we're going to try our Cabernet next and start our late harvest wine last, as this would probably be the procession that we go in. And let's go ahead and switch our glasses here. These great Sula glasses that were given to us today as compliments for guests who enjoyed our Wine Down Wednesday. I know, very thankful for these gentlemen. Thank you so much. Much darker than the first wine. Much darker. Any thoughts on what do you think this wine is going to smell like?
I think it's gonna have a little caramel.
I hope this has some more complexity to it. This is, again, a 2015 vintage wine. So we could actually taste this wine and see what it's going to taste like in 2 or 3 years by assuming that the tannins and the acid will be less if there are very much in them right now. What do you think that this wine smells like? I'm not picking up very much of anything. Is that safe to say it's like a low intense?
Lemongrass flavor.
Oh, I like that. That's a great description. I'm hoping for something other than just baby mashed, black fruits, really. Something possibly like a smoothie, a strawberry or mixed berry smoothie. I definitely want to feel like there should be a little bit of vanilla in here. Pretty straightforward, pretty plain Jane, I think it would be safe to say. Do you enjoy this one? Did you like the smell of the one before this one better?
I like the smell.
Yes, I did one as well. And by far the Riesling, did you like better than the smell of this one as well?
Yeah.
So I think we're
That's
doing
gave
better.
a lot of
Not a high intensity wine by any means. Well, I'd like to cheers you, and we're excited for our Wine Down Wednesday for Sula Wines. Wow, much more bold on the palate than what I was expecting. This wine tastes like leather and cedar, a little bit of tobacco.
It's a strong finish to it.
Much more complex, is that safe to say, than the smell
Then
by
the
far.
smell of it.
What do you
Wouldn't
think?
think there's anything in that.
Do you think that this is bitter by any means, or tart,
A
or?
little bit. Like when you drink it, you get that bitter tone.
Yes.
But then it goes down.
So possibly this would be better, but maybe next year or the year after that. Is that safe to say? I think it needs a little bit of time in the bottle. I'm very excited to try these wines, and of course I'm going to ask you, what do you think would go with this one?
I would go with the chicken and
Okay, I like that. Maybe some tomato sauce, smoked tomatoes, mozzarella caprese. I think I'm going with today. Oh yeah, delicious with the pizza. I feel like this red wine would be perfect. And we're saving the best for last this week. We actually got to try the Sula still wines. Next week we'll be able to try the Sula sparkling wines, and we'll try some Dia sparkling wines as well. Yes, and with our last wine, this is a late harvest Chenin Blanc. In fact, alcohol is 14%, is that what we said? 14% alcohol. And what they do is they actually wait until much later in the fall to extract these grapes and harvest them. So they get nice and raisin-like. So you could imagine the amount of, we'll dump this out, I think we probably had too much water in our glasses. You could imagine the amount of sugar content in this wine to begin with. And where does that sugar go? Straight to the alcohol. We're grateful for that. A little bit darker than the Riesling, is that safe to say? A little bit darker than the Riesling. I can smell this wine from here. What does this smell like to you? I see that this is the happiest that you've been so far in our Wine Down Wednesdays. Maybe that's a good sign.
It does give a lot of reason, like a roasted reason.
How about any nuts? Do you get any nuts? I'm kind of hoping that like roasted macadamia, maybe some hazelnuts in here, a lot of flowers. I get straightforward flowers, and possibly like canned pineapple. Definitely a little bit of tropical fruit flavors, a little bit of kiwi. Oh, and there's something that I'd like to put my finger on, and I'm figs. I like that. I like that a lot. And I'm thinking gummy bears. I think that this smells like if you were to take some gummy bears and just blend them in a blender, this is what they would smell like. Or maybe this is what I hope that they would smell like.
That's very good.
Well, I'm very excited for this wine, and we always want to thank Melisandra for being part of our Wine Down Wednesdays. This wine is sweet. Were you expecting it to be that sweet? Definitely not. It has a nice balance of it. Good amount of acid. Pretty long finish, is that safe to say?
I really like the taste of it. It's really sweet, not expected.
That makes me so happy, I gotta tell you, that we can find local wines here that possibly the rest of the world didn't know about that are actually quite enjoyable. Is that safe to say? Now, I'm really excited to be around something like this, especially, and to taste this wine is quite a treat. I feel like this would go great with any custard, creme caramel, flan, creme brulee. Do you have thoughts or something that you want to throw in on this one?
I would say like a sweet cranberry tart, like a really sweet.
With maybe a little chocolate sauce on top?
Chocolate candy.
That sounds delicious. I'm thinking glazed donuts. I'm thinking glazed donuts today. I guess I'm in dessert mode.
It's sweet, so
Yeah, like you need something equally as sweet with this wine for sure. I'm safe to say that lamb probably wouldn't be our first choice. Well, we want to thank you again for joining us for an exciting edition of Wine Down Wednesdays. And we want to wish you all a happy evening and look out for our next video next Wednesday on local sparkling wines.